In December 2015, SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket gracefully touched down at Cape Canaveral. This historic landing marked the first ever successful recovery and landing of the first stage of an orbital-class rocket, shattering the age-old paradigm of disposable rockets and setting a new standard for space travel. As the Falcon 9 rocket landed back on Earth, it not only carried payloads, but also the ambitions of a new era in space exploration. Historically, rockets were expendable, launched once, then consigned to a fiery end by ocean impact or re-entry burnup. This paradigm persisted from the dawn of the space age, from Vostok 1 in 1961 carrying Yuri Gagarin, through the Space Shuttle era, which only partially addressed reusability. Full recovery and reuse of launch rockets remained formidable due to cost, technological complexity, and the enormous energy required to return a stage safely to Earth. Enter SpaceX and Elon Musk, who in the early 2000s envisioned a shift that seemed radical to the aerospace industry. Reduce space travel costs by making rockets fully reusable. This idea was pivotal to Musk's broader goals of Mars colonization and making human life multi-planetary. In an industry where a single launch could cost hundreds of millions of dollars, the financial implications of reusability were monumental. The turning point came on December 21, 2015, when SpaceX's Falcon 9 not only delivered 11 Orbicom-2 satellites to orbit, but also returned to Landing Zone 1, LZ-1, at Cape Canaveral, landing upright on solid ground. This stood in stark contrast to earlier years, including SpaceX's Falcon 1 program, which failed to reach orbit on its first 3 attempts, 2006, 2007, early 2008, before finally succeeding later in 2008. The Falcon 9 landing was the culmination of years of development, testing, and lessons from failure. It proved that controlled, precise, safe landing of an orbital-class first stage was achievable, overturning decades of skepticism. SpaceX's approach to reusability wasn't just an upgrade, it was a fundamental rethink of architecture and flight dynamics. The Falcon 9 first stage, powered by 9 Merlin engines producing roughly 1.7 million pounds of thrust at liftoff, executes a sequence of controlled burns to reverse course and guide itself home. The booster is equipped with grid fins and landing legs, instrumental for steering during re-entry and stabilizing at touchdown. Personal accounts from SpaceX engineers, like Tom Mueller, the Chief Propulsion Technology Officer, reveal the intensity of developing reusability. Mueller described an iterative process: test, learn, refine. Each test brought us closer, and every failure taught us something indispensable, he remarked in a 2016 interview. That data-driven persistence, central to SpaceX's culture under Musk, turned hard-won insight into hardware. The emotional impact of the 2015 landing was palpable worldwide. It signified a technical triumph and rekindled optimism in spaceflight. As the rocket touched down, spectators and engineers felt a collective surge of awe and relief, captured perfectly when Musk tweeted, "Welcome back, baby." The moment underscored the achievement's broader significance and the future it unlocked. With the stage set by this unprecedented success, the focus shifted to perfecting and normalizing the feat. SpaceX quickly followed with multiple successful landings on both drone ships and land, proving the December 2015 event was repeatable. Each recovery yielded crucial data, drove down marginal launch costs, and revealed where high-stress components wear and how to extend their life. In conclusion, the successful Falcon 9 landing was a watershed in aerospace. It challenged entrenched norms that made every launch a costly single-use endeavor and ushered in an era where space travel could become more routine and economically viable. The achievement wasn't just about mastering landing physics. It embodied the spirit of innovation and audacity, marking a new chapter in human spaceflight. Mastering the cosmic ballet required more than technology. It demanded a bold reimagining of what was possible. SpaceX's journey hinged on key innovations, especially grid fins and the pioneering hoverslam landing technique that enabled precise maneuvering, controlled descent, and a dramatic shift in the economics of access to space. The inclusion of grid fins on Falcon 9 was a game-changer for controlled re-entry and landing. These waffle-shaped control surfaces, aluminum at first, later upgraded to titanium for greater heat resistance, sit near the top of the first stage. They deploy during re-entry to steer the rocket back to a landing pad or drone ship, adjusting angle to manipulate airflow so the booster can roll, pitch, and yaw for precise targeting. Tom Mueller described grid fins as akin to guiding a pencil to stand up straight on a table using only your hand. The power of this system was on vivid display on December 21, 2015, when Falcon 9 Flight 20 delivered 11 satellites to orbit and then achieved the first successful landing of an orbital-class rocket's first stage at Landing Zone 1 in Cape Canaveral. In tandem with the grid fins, the hoverslam technique is another cornerstone of SpaceX's landings. Despite the name, the rocket does not hover. Instead, it performs a precisely timed, high-thrust burn in the final seconds, just enough to kill velocity at the exact moment of touchdown. This razor-thin fuel and timing margin maximizes payload capacity by eliminating the need to carry propellant for hovering. Elon Musk likened it to balancing a rubber broomstick on your hand in the middle of a windstorm. The technique proved crucial in the first drone ship landing on April 8, 2016, during the CRS-8 mission to the International Space Station, an elegant conversion of theoretical physics into practical engineering. The first drone ship landing using this technique came on April 8, 2016, during the CRS-8 mission to the International Space Station. The ripple effects are profound. By mastering reusability, SpaceX has significantly reduced the cost of access to space. While publicly listed Falcon 9 prices hovered around $62 million for years, recovering and reusing the first stage targets the most expensive hardware, lowering marginal costs and enabling a higher launch cadence. That shift has attracted customers from national agencies to private firms and changed how missions are planned. The impact extends beyond economics. Subsequent missions have demonstrated rising reliability and tempo. Starlink's global internet ambition, for instance, depends on rapid, repeated launches, made feasible by reusable boosters. The confidence built here also underpins future projects like Mars campaigns under SpaceX's Starship program, which likewise centers on full reusability. SpaceX's achievements validated Elon Musk's vision and inspired a new generation of engineers and scientists. Former NASA astronaut Tom Jones noted that SpaceX's success with Falcon 9's landing has rewritten the textbooks on what is possible in space travel. The broader effect is clear: bold dreams translated into robust, repeatable technology. In sum, SpaceX's taming of gravity through meticulous engineering and innovations like grid fins and the hoverslam speaks to human ingenuity and the relentless push to make the impossible possible, turning science fiction into science fact and propelling humanity into a new era of exploration. As we look to the stars, the footprints leading there are stamped by Falcon's reusable boosters, marking a definitive shift in how we reach into the cosmos. As the Falcon 9 stood tall on its landing pad, it was not just a triumph of engineering, but a beacon for future aspirations in space. This pivotal moment in 2015 did more than challenge old aerospace maxims. It redefined them, paving the way for a future where spaceflight is as routine as air travel. If you enjoyed this story, hit subscribe for more fascinating historical deep dives every week. Thanks for watching.